So sometimes when I see all this information online about food and nutrition, it reminds me of racism, right? So it's like seeing one person from a specific ethnicity do something that's unfavorable. Maybe a blank person kills someone, and all of a sudden saying all people of that race is bad for humanity, right? And so you start to see that in nutrition and food as well. So let's apply that to sugar, right? So sugar, I don't know if you know, there's many types of sugar. There's fructose, right, which is fruit sugar. There's dextrose, which is the other half of fruit sugar. Then there's sucrose, which is like table sugar, refined sugar. There's lactose, which is milk sugar. There's galactose. There's many different types of sugar. And so not all of them will have the same chemical reaction within your body, right? Sucrose for sure is not the healthiest choice. Even high amounts of fructose may not be the healthiest choice. But we can make the argument that high amounts of any one single thing is not healthy, even water, right? Water is essential for life. Too much of it flushes too much sodium out and you get hyponatremia and you die, right? If you drink too much water. Right, we can see this, it's like saying protein's bad for you. Under protein, we have like chicken, fish, plant proteins, eggs, right? So there's many different sources and types of proteins. So, and fats, right? So it's like saying all fats are bad for you. Remember that phase in nutrition, right, in the 80s? Well, not all fats are equal. We have your monosaturated fats, your saturated fats, your polysaturated fats, your trans fats, and you have fats that are burned. I mean, there's so many different kinds, right? So I won't get into, there's like omega-3s, omega-6, omega-9s. Depends upon how you want to name it, frame it, and all that stuff. And so what's the takeaway message? And what's an actionable for you? Well, don't let internet marketers who are these health experts brainwash and pre-frame you into thinking that this entire category of food is awful for you, right? All we've done essentially is switch from the fat-free decade or a couple decades to now the carbohydrate-free decade, right? It's swinging the other way. Everything swings in pendulums. And so I will say this, yes, most grains are poisoned by Monsanto. It has glyphosate in it. Sure, most grains are toxic for you. It's not the grain, it's the weed killer in the grain, right? And imagine this, some people say rice is unhealthy for you. Well, tell that to like 1 billion people in China for a long time has been eating rice. Like I grew up on rice too, right? And so there's no one single food or category that's quote unquote bad for you. You want to make sure that you eat a variety of foods and look at what works and feel at what works for you. It just doesn't make sense to eat no sugars, which essentially means you're cutting out, let's say if you're doing keto, that means you're not eating any fruits, right? That's like saying, hey, Mother Nature, let's screw you and kick you in the nuts, and we're not going to eat this entire food group you have provided for humans. That just doesn't make sense to me, right? So be really careful what the internet marketing fitness experts are telling you. Question all the experts, right? You can fake anything right now, right? Like, sure, you cannot fake being a professional football player. You can't just like put on a helmet and football pads and run on a football field like, I'm a professional football player. You're going to get crushed. You can't fake professional sports because it takes decades to master. However, you can fake being a fitness guru very easily. You can fake being a mindset guru very easily because you can't test that, right? There's no the battlefield for them to go on and be like, look at me, I'm truly a expert in my field. So the entire industry is bombarded by fake experts. And even the real experts, they're basically selling their stuff, right? And so my advice is take everything with a grain of salt, see what works for you. If anyone is saying exclude an entire thing and they're lumping everything into one group, that's a red flag to me. Because the science shows, trust me, if we test your blood and your stool and your bacteria, everything about you, there's a lot that you can do without having to exclude all fats or all sugars or all proteins or whatever, right? So that's the science. So hopefully share this message because it is a very powerful message to unbrainwash other people who are being brainwashed by just phenomenal marketers out there.